The MYOB Advanced mobile app in this version will also be given some updates. There are 3 enhancements that are shipped for the mobile app, namely the ability to save data on secondary screen, improvements on error reporting, and full support of multi-select lists. For secondary screens, such as the details of a sales order line, users can now save or discard data by using the Save or Cancel button on the mobile app. It will be easier to review and troubleshoot errors on the mobile app because the tabs that contains the fields where the error occurred will be highlighted. And finally, multi-select lists are supported across all screens in the mobile app, whereas in the previous versions, this is only supported for document attributes. There are some new and exciting changes in the MYOB Advanced platform as well. We have the following features for the platform. Firstly, we have data sorting in the data table widget. We have new CRM task subscriber on the business event screen. We have customization of the new toolbar. And finally, the DAC schema browser that is very useful for people who work with reports and generic inquiry. Let's have a look. The first enhancement within the MYOB Advanced platform is the ability to sort data in the data table widgets. In the past, the data table widgets that are normally added on the dashboards only displays data with the default sorting. Users could not sort data to their liking, and therefore the information displayed on the data table widget was less relevant to the customer. In this release, this issue will be resolved. The users will be able to sort data in the data table widget by clicking on the column header, and the data will be sorted in ascending or descending orders. In my database here, down the bottom, I have 2 data table widgets. On the left side is the opportunities table widgets, and on the right side is the lead. As you can see, with this release, I can click on the column header of each of the table widgets and sorts the data either ascending or descending. So I can sort by opportunity ID ascending or descending, and this will give me a more meaningful sorting view of my data, whereas in the past versions of MYOB Advanced, there was no capability to do it. Workflow automation is now even more practical and easier. How many times did you have to email your team to assign them with tasks that they need to do? Imagine having the system automatically create and assign those tasks to your team so that you don't have to spend so much time on those admin tasks. Starting from version 2021.2, the business events functionality has a new subscribers type called task, which is CRM task. Now, you can configure a business event, and apart from making the business event send an email notification, a push notification, or trigger an import scenario, you can now make the business events create and assign a CRM task to the employee as well. So on my screen here, I have a business event called CR New Lead. And what it does is whenever a new or existing lead is assigned to a new owner, then this business event will trigger and it will send an email notification to the lead owner. But also I have modified this business event to include a new subscriber. As you can see, this new subscriber has a type of task, which is a new functionality in MYOB Advanced version 2021.2. And if I had a look at the subscriber ID here, you will see that it will open up a screen called Task Template. And this is where you will set up the CRM task that the business event will create. So when I have a look into this screen, you will see that there is a body tab, which you can enter the contents for the task, but also in the task settings tab, you will see that this is very familiar, and it is nothing but an import scenario where you will import the start date, due date, priority, etc. of a CRM task, you can see that all of these fields are correspondence to all of the fields on the task screen. So for this business event, whenever this business event triggers, then the system will create a CRM task and will assign this task to the lead owner. So I'm going to demonstrate how that works. So this is the lead screen, and I have this new lead. Firstly, I'm just gonna remove the owner, which is a username that the employee that I'm using for now, and then save. And then I'm gonna put the owner back. So now that this lead has been assigned to an owner, we are going to go to the business events history and review if there is any new business events that has been triggered. Yep, so this one has just been triggered right now. So I can see that firstly it sends an email notification, and secondly it creates a new task for me. I'm gonna go back to the task screen and check the task. As you can see, the system has created a new task for me, which is, I believe, this one. And all of this information here actually comes from the task template, which is the subscriber ID. I added a start date equals to today and a due date equals to today plus 5 days, and set the priority to normal, and set a reminder to true and remind me right now. So that means that every time this business event trigger, the system will create a CRM task for me, and this task will become a pop-up reminder for me as well. As you must have seen already, version 2021.2 is given a new look with the redesign of the new toolbar. Actions that are specific to a screen are now grouped together under different categories, connotations, and different orders. If required, you can customize the toolbar either through the Customization project editor or in the codes. This new feature that I'm about to introduce guarantee will excite a lot of consultants who work with reports, generic inquiries, and customization. In the past versions, we can use the Inspect Element tool to inspect what data access class a field belongs to, so that we can build custom reports and generic inquiries. This functionality is very limited as customizers do not know what are the other relevant fields in the same data access class or know what data type of a field is. This new release has introduced a new functionality called the DAC Schema Browser, which will provide you with so much information on the schema and the data access class. You can now search for schema names, review the fields that make up a data access class, and check the data references from other data access class. Let's see it in action. On my screen here is a standard journal transaction screen. As a user with the customizer role, I can hold Ctrl Alt and highlight and click on a field to open the Inspect Element window. And this Inspect Element window will show me what data access class the field belongs to and what is the field name. If I don't want to do that, I can also click on Customization, Inspect Element, and click on a field name, and that will achieve the same thing. Starting from version 2021.2, you will see that the data class, there is a hyperlink for the data class name. And if I click on this hyperlink, then it will open the DAC Schema Browser window for me. So for this DAC Schema Browser, on the top here, I can search for a DAC or a data access class name. So for example, if I search for AP invoice, then it will suggest a list of AP invoice DAC for me. Now on the right here, let's remove this and bring back the batch DAC, which is down here. So on the right here, you will see that the system display all of the information relevant to the batch DAC. For example, we have a summary showing what is the purpose of this DAC and all of the fields that are in this DAC. Also the type, the data type of the fields and the display names. And also very cool, down here you will be able to see what are the other DACs that reference a field on this data access class. For example, you will see that the AP invoice data access class reference the batch number of this batch DAC. So there's a lot of information that you can utilize to build custom reports or to do customization or to build generic inquiries for your customer. For the self-service area, there is a new minor enhancements that will improve the usability for the users. Starting from version 2021.2, users can now add user-defined fields on the case-related screens on the customer portal to capture information that are relevant to the case. The two screens where the user-defined fields can be added are the new case screen and the case detail screen. There are two new changes in the user interface area. The first change is the ability to view the in-product help on the mobile device. This will be very useful for field staff who need to be on their feet all day and have limited access to the desktop version of MYOB Advanced. When using MYOB Advanced on a mobile device, users can now access the in-product user guide as well. The second change, as I had mentioned earlier, is the redesign of the new toolbar. The actions on a screen are now put into a toolbar to provide a smooth and clean look and feel for the user. Let's have a look into these changes. On my screen here is the standard opportunity screen. As you can see, the toolbar has been redesigned so that only the actions that are relevant to the status of a screen are listed separately. The rest of the actions are now organized in this little pop-up window here, and it's dynamic, so the user can view and hide as required. On this toolbar, I can select an actions that are my favorite actions, and as soon as I click those, then you will see that the favorite actions are now brought into the screen. Also, the system provides some color indication to tell me what would be the next step for this screen depending on the status. So for example, for a new opportunity, the next step would be open, so the system will suggest open this opportunity. And you will see that there are some actions that are available for me to choose. Some of them are not available, and the availability and unavailability of the actions are related to the status of the screen as well. As I mentioned earlier, all of these are customizable, and you can customize the toolbar through the customization project editor if you want to do it through the UI, or you can do it through the code as well. There are two minor enhancements in the customization area. The first one is the ability to include connected applications in a customization project, and the second one is some enhancement and updates around the customization project editor. If you have been doing development works that involves OAuth, chances are you might have had some configurations done already in the connected application screen. In the past versions, once a connected application is configured, there's no way to bring it from a development environment to a production environment. In version 2021.2, this problem will be solved with the ability to include connected applications in the customization project editor. So in my demo system here, I am on the connected application screen, and as you can see, I have already configured a connected application. In the past, once my connected application is set up, I cannot move it to a different environment, and in a new environment, I will have to reconfigure the connected application again. This is changed in version 2021.2. I can create a customization project. So let's use this one as an example. And in the customization project, as you can see at the very bottom, there is a new area for connected applications. And what I can do is I can just add the connected application that I created in the system in here. Just gonna do it again. Still doesn't like it. I'm just gonna close this and do it again. Oh, there we go. It's already in here. So with this customization project, you can export it out and then you can import it back into a new database, and the connected applications configuration will be migrated across. To accommodate for new changes in different areas in the system, the Customization Project Editor has also received some updates. As the system is shipped with the new toolbar, the Customization Project Editor now also inherits those changes and also has areas for the users to manage categories and connotations of an action on the toolbar. Let's have a review. So I'm on the Customization Project Editor screen. As I have mentioned a few times during this webinar, the system is shipped with a new toolbar, and as you can see, the Customization Project Editor also inherits that change and has a new toolbar as well. For a screen, all of the actions in the screen in the new toolbars, they are organized into different categories, and this is how you can classify an action and put them under different categories. So, for example, for this screen CR301000, if I click on actions, these are the available actions, and I can put them into different categories here. I can select Manage Categories and add new categories or move the categories up or down in my toolbar. Also, if I click on an action, for example, I have the option to add the action to the toolbar if I want to make this action available on the toolbar like this, and if I tick lock on toolbar, then this action will permanently be displayed on the toolbar. The add to toolbar action is available depending on the status of the screen. So, for example, if the screen has a status where the action is available, then when you tick Add to Toolbar, the action will be added into the other category and also appear on the toolbar as well. If it's not available, then the action would not be displayed here. If you tick both Add to Toolbar and Lock on Toolbar, then the action will be permanently displayed on the toolbar regardless of the status of the action. Also, when I click on an action and open the action properties window, you will see that there is a new field called connotation, and this is where you can select and change the color of the connotation of the action. There are also other minor changes in the Customization Project Editor under different screens. You can refer to the release notes and have a look into those. To support the new changes in the new version, the developer documentation has also been updated. There are some new and refactored contents related to the Commerce Connector documentation and the Integration Development Guide. To know more about these changes, please refer to the release note and the relevant documentation pages. The final chapters of the release notes discuss the technical changes related to Platform API and workflow. In the Platform API areas, the release notes introduces new namespaces, graphs, and data access classes to support the insertion of multi-currency documents. It also discusses the implementation of multi-currency support on a custom form. In the workflow area, it discusses how to assign categories and connotations to an actions through the code, as well as technical changes to support the ability to assign a field value before and after a workflow transition. Please refer to the release notes if you would like to obtain more information on this.